Okay, so what we have in here is our case 2 for the first part. And for the first part, we are asked to obtain the optimal production schedule and if it's possible to meet all the demand. So we see here is our GAMS solution problem. We have three different sets, which are the parts, the machines, and the weeks. We have our table of our demand. We also have our values for production rate. We have the yield. We also have a parameter that is a table for the setup time for each machine. We also have a table that is the parameter for compatibility of the machines that we will use with the setup time. Then we also have the variables that are the overtime, the total week that we're going to use, the total time that we're going to use, the variable for slacks, the variable for our total units that we are going to produce, and we finally have a binary variable that will indicate either if the machine is going to be chosen to produce a certain part or not. Now we have 7 different equations. The first one is the objective function, and what we want with this objective function is to minimize the usage of overtime and the existence of slacks. And then we have the constraint for the production, that is that the production obviously cannot exceed what is demanded. So to obtain this number, we will have the summatory of the production plus the slacks. And next we have the constraint that tells us that we are limited in time. So all the time that we use for production plus the setup times of the machines cannot exceed the 120 available hours plus the overtime if needed. Then we also know that the overtime cannot exceed the 48 hours. And then finally we have the constraint that is for the compatibility that we were talking about. And finally we have the constraint number 6 that is only to tell us the production in general. And now we have the results. Here we can see that we display the slacks. We have slacks, so then we can say that we're not going to meet the demand. And we see also the display that of our overtime and the schedule for each week, and finally the production. Then now we can see in this table that we have the predicted demand and the demand that we and the units that we produce. We can see that in week 11 we are missing some of the parts necessary to complete the demand, and that is because we have slacks during those weeks because we were not able to meet the demand of produced pieces.